What is going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to another episode of NAS100 analysis today. And I'm going to pick up from where I left off on last week, Sunday. So, Sunday, did a recording. Okay, we talked about a whole heap of things that I wanted to see take place, and we got a partial, right? So, just to help you guys out in terms of what I talked about, right? So, all this area here, we didn't discuss that last week. It was everything prior, and we used this area to help us try to figure out what could be taking place in this zone right here, right? And another funny thing is, on Wednesday, I actually did a video. Wednesday last week, I did a video. That's why I had all these areas drawn out, right? And once again, I didn't upload it. So all this stuff here that I talked about, you guys will never hear it because literally it didn't go up. So we're just going to get rid of all of that. Get rid of all of that because that's all gone. And we're going to get on with what is taking place this week. So, on the last video, I was talking about I was downward facing, and I was right to be downward facing, and I hope you guys collected some bank too, right? Because all of last week, technically, in my opinion, for me personally, I was just doing one thing and one thing only, and that was banking, right? That was banking, right? So I hope you guys was doing that too. You was in the opposite, you was in a position to do that also, because this thing is not easy. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's not easy, right? So I'm not gonna sit here and turn around and talk about the wins like I'm the guy, right? Because that's not how that goes. We have to take the losses as well, and I have taken my fair share of losses. So it's about time that obviously I had a couple of decent wins, right? So I had the win up here, and I had another win up here also, right? So I got here, then I added some more at this level over here, then I added some more at this level over here. All trailing stops was triggered because this zone right here was my TP. This is where I was targeting, so I was triggered out. And then as price pushed up, I said to myself, if it doesn't go past this level over here, I will then join the market again. So we had the doji up here. I didn't do anything. I waited for the second one to close. Once it did, then I joined in on this next parabolic move to the downside. So I took all of that, and just before we got to the end of the day on Friday, I just hopped out of all positions, right? So last week was a fantastic week. I took a couple losses here and there, but those losses was purely on greed. So I was like getting as much as I possibly could. Then I have a silly idea, then it will go wrong, and it was just all over the place. But overall, we walked away with a decent amount, and that is the kind of results that I want, minus the little losses that I incurred here and there, right? So now that we've gotten all of that out of the way, we kind of need to assess where everything is. So this was Friday, okay? And the high for this entire week was this point right here. We got it on a Wednesday, right? So I'm going to use that area right here. And I think I have a label for this. I think I do. Let me have a look to see if I have a label for this. Okay, yeah. So weekly high, that's that over here. And the lowest point was this area over here, which we got on a Thursday. So that would be the weekly low. So we just stick another label on that, weekly low, right? And then, so I'm doing this on an hour because I have an idea where this is going on a day, right? Literally, it's quite straightforward. It's at a high point, so I'm expecting price to start breaking down. But we're just gonna look at a day real quick and just see what we got. Let's see what we got. So the M that I talked about in the last video, it hasn't fully formed. It hasn't fully formed. It may or it may not form, but let's just see how it goes. The M that I was talking about is we had one move. So let's just say this one move from here, up here, down here, up here, and then now it's at this level right here. And I'm expecting price to head down here, and then it will let us know what it plans to do moving forward. So that's the vibe. As a matter of fact, rather than do it, let me just draw it out again. So I think I've got hiccups. Okay. Let me make this, actually keep this red, and let's make this nice and bold. So this is the move that I'm expecting on a day, right? So this is the shape that I'm expecting the day to give us in the coming days and weeks, right? So whole of next week, it may still be pushing downwards. It may still be doing that, or it might start dancing around, consolidating. But this is what I am expecting. I'm expecting price from where it is to push all the way down to the bare minimum, get to this level right here, which would be 14,686.8. I'm not guaranteeing it's going to go to that level. I'm just saying that is what I'm expecting price to do. So it's going to get rid of this again, right? And we're just going to go back into the hour again. Well, what is the likelihood that market is going to do something that is going to work to our favor and to our benefit, right? That's what we're looking at right now. So I'm going to rejig this trend line a bit. So we're going to bring this trend line over here. And at this point, this trend line is looking very respectable in terms of how it is lining itself up with the rest of the chart. So as it looks, this is how the trend line kind of looks at the moment, right? It's sat in there nicely, okay? We do have a bit of a breakdown down here that took place on the 27th of June, right? So it broke down only to return back up again, which is absolutely fine. This is where like I was having a really good day, and then obviously it could have been a bad day, but it definitely, like, it was good. Like, it was really good. Like from here all the way down here, only to end up with it, say, around here. So basically I lost all of that and I got away with something silly, like something tiny. Like, yeah, it hurts me still. It still hurts. It still hurts, right? So, not getting sidetracked, let's look at what we got going on right now. So as it stands right now, we have market in some kind of a trend, and this is how it looks. All right? This is how it looks at the moment. Right? This is how it looks. So we have a smaller version of, so we have a smaller version, so this is the smaller version of this actual trend, and this is how it's presenting itself in the market right now. Okay, now there are two levels that we literally need to bear in mind. We need to bear this in mind. Okay, the first is the weekly low, right, which is the low on the Thursday. Okay, and then we also need to bear in mind, let me get rid of this also, the low of the Friday. We want to be aware of these two levels, right? And we also want to be aware of the high on the Friday. Okay? We want to be aware of the high on the Friday. Now, the reason why I want to be aware of the high of last week, right, as well as the daily high of the last day of the week, which was the Friday, is this is going to help me figure out what price plans to do on a Monday. Okay, so for example, if we go all the way back, we can see that, so as it stands right now, the highest point of the market in the current trend that is in right now is this area over here. Okay, and this area kind of coincides with last week's previous high. So if I drag this arrow across, let me unlock it. If I drag it across, we can see that it coincides, right, with last week's previous high. That's that right here. Okay, so what I'm aiming to see is if price is going to push up, and if it pushes up, two levels I wanted to see it break. I wanted to see it break this level, and I want to see it break this level. Okay, and then whatever it does after that, that would then help me decide if it is a bullish market or if it's a bearish market. Right now, bearish market, it doesn't close above these two levels right here. I may get a close above this one, but I definitely can't get a close above this one if I'm looking for a bearish market. Right, if it closes above that one, then I've got to change my whole mindset and start looking for bullish moves, because it's not over, right? I might get another 5 more days of a continuing push to an upside before it starts to collapse. And I'm going to go back into a day and then show you exactly why I think that we shouldn't rule out a bullish move to the upside just yet. We need to wait, okay? On the flip side, we get a close below Friday's daily low, which is below this level right here, right? And then we get another close below last week's low down here, okay? And also factoring in that market is currently at its highest point in regards to this current trend we're in right now, right? In regards to the NAS, it's in the uptrend right now, okay? Then the only assumption is that this thing is going to be falling through the sky. It's going to be dropping, and each level that it goes past strengthens the case for it being a bearish market, right? Now we're looking at this on the hourly at the moment, so the hour is not that strong, but the vibe is there on the day too, right? So the vibe is there on the day too. Why, look, it's at its highest point. It is at its highest point, right? Okay, it can go higher. I'm not saying it can't. It can definitely go higher, but if we're looking at this, if we're taking this at face value, it's at its highest point right now, which basically means it has to start falling. How low is going to fall is how long is the piece of string. Ideally, if you're downward facing, you want it from up here all the way down here, right? I'm not going to do the maths on how big this is, but this is very, 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 very respectable, right? Remember, we're looking at the NAS on a day. This is very respectable. All right, so let's go back into the hour for a second. So these are the moves that I'm expecting. So these are the moves that I am expecting from when market opens in the next few hours. So when it opens in the next few hours, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to wait for. Well, in all honesty, I'm not sure if I'm actually going to put in any positions on a Monday. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to do it or not, just because I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what way it's going to be going. So between Monday and Wednesday, I'm beginning to understand how market moves in the early periods of the week, right? In the early periods of the week, how market tends to move, right? And this is what I'm kind of working on. And this is what I aim to bring on board. So if you've been watching my videos for any length of time, you will realize that my analysis style has been changing gradually as we move forward, because naturally I'm improving. I am improving. That's the only answer that I can give you in regards to that. So I am improving, right? And those improvements is what I'm bringing to the table to share with all of you guys today. So another thing that we also need to look at as well, right? Because I'm a fan of trend lines as well. I am also a fan of trend lines, right? So if you look at it from this point of view, right, we look at it from this point of view, because what it is we want to do is we don't want to get into a situation where we are putting our biases onto the market to say this is what we want market to do, and this is how we're going to trade it. So market looks like it's going one way, and we're just going with that idea that it's going to do that. We can't do that in this space, right? We have to create all the possibilities that market could possibly throw at us and make sure we're prepared for each one that may come our way. The more prepared we are, the more successful we will be in the market. The less prepared we are, the higher the chances that we will get things wrong, right? So for example, I'm downward facing in the market as it stands right now, okay? Looking at this structure over here, okay, looking at how this structure looks, right? It's only natural that you say, yeah, market's gonna go down, yeah, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down, it's gonna go down. But I don't like to take that kind of approach. Very recently, I don't like taking that kind of approach anymore, because that can really mislead you. So what I want to do is put in all the calculations that I could possibly see right now in regards to what market may or may not do. And then if it does any of them, I know how to kind of react to the situation. So let's go back to the points that I've made so far. So first we have a weekly high up here. Let me put a little bubble on it. So it's going to put a little bubble right here. So we have a weekly high right here, and we have a weekly low down here. These levels are way more important than the days, by the way, right? They're way more important. They're way more important than the days, right? So even though we have this trend over here that has a likelihood of breaking downwards because of how it's shaped, right? Because of how it's shaped, it has a high probability of breaking downwards, right? We don't want to discount that. We don't want to just be like, oh, because it's done that, it's going to break down. No. We don't want to do that at all. Well, I don't want to do that at all. What I want to do is I want to make sure I am looking at everything possible. Everything possible, okay? And then when I do this now, I can see we have a structure here that has a likelihood to push upwards. So both options are available in the market at the moment. The only rules that is set in stone for me right now is the weekly high or the weekly low of last week being broken. If it is broken, then that would then tell me, okay, this is what I now need to be looking for in the market, which means if it breaks this, I don't take the first break above, right? I'll wait to see if it's going to pull back. And most importantly, I wait to see the power of the move to the upside at this level. So for example, if we have a candle like this or a candle like this, a powerful candle that shoots upwards, right? Then I'm like, okay, there's a very high probability it's going to continue pushing up. I already have the structure down here and I have the power push to the upside. So it's fair to assume it's going to continue doing that. And then I'll stick in a buy, I'll stick in my stop, and I'll see how far it goes, right? If it breaks below this level and it breaks on a power move with the really strong push to the downside and it breaks below these lows over here, then I would consider maybe catching the sell at the next opportunity to ride it down, and this would be the first level that I consider jumping off at, right? That would be the first level. But however, if it's like a little slow, little pin hammers crawling down to this level, right? Then I'm now like, okay, cool. We're gonna wait to see if it pushes up, if it goes past this level. If it pushes up and it does not go past the daily high and starts to like trickle down again with more pin hammers, then I'm sticking in a sell, and this area over here would be the TP that I will be targeting. Okay, so moves for this week, for Monday coming, are the following, right? I'm looking for price to close below 14,981.0, right? And on the high side, I'm waiting for price to close above 15,292.8, right? I get a close above any of those zones, then I have an idea how I need to be behaving moving forward. So with all of that covered, my awesome people from all around the world, I want to thank you for coming over to watch another episode of NAS100 analysis today. I look forward to seeing you throughout the week, right? Hopefully I'll release more content throughout the week, but if not, you will definitely get a video from me on Sunday, right? Don't forget to look in the description, okay? Because there is a link to a broker. If you need a broker, you can use my link with the promo code. Get yourself hooked up, get yourself looked after, all right? TradingView, highly recommend it. If you're not using it, you can use my link to get yourself on TradingView. You get something, I get something, we all walk away happy, right? And finally, I've put some educational material inside of a blog that is in the link in the description. Make sure you hit that if you need additional resources. The information I put there, those books are super useful, and I highly recommend you read them, and I highly recommend you get them, and most importantly, you have them for life, right? So that's that. So with all of that covered, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification, and drop us a like if you find the content useful, which I believe you will find the content useful. So once you've done all of that, I will then look forward to seeing you in the next video, which will be very, very soon. So for now, this is Pips and Points signing out.